Morning world, Hippy Trev here, and welcome to part 3 of the Kenworth build. Well, this model, I don't know if it's the model, or I don't know if it's me, but this thing has been an absolute pain in the ass, and if anything can go wrong, and complete going wrong, it certainly has, and especially on this one. They say a good tradesman never blames his tools. Well, I'm not really blaming my tools. I mean the MTD destruction sheet has a lot to be. I can blame a fair bit on the MPT destruction sheet. They're less than desirable, but for some reason my fingers are just not doing what they're supposed to. I'm finding I'm dropping parts, I'm having trouble getting parts together. These are my tools, and unfortunately they seem to be failing me. But anyway, this is turning out to be a real shit show. But I'm progressing on because I don't give up. So we've got and it's getting hard to handle the model. Every time you touch something, like I'm touching here, I had a air tank there, I'm trying to maneuver the model around, and I touch the air tank, it falls off and so forth. So anyway, I've got my tanks on, radiators on, that hose there's on. There was a bottom radiator hose that was meant to go on, but every time I tried fitting it, I lost the fan. Basically what I probably should have done was put that on before I put the front of the radiator on. Also, AMT had me with these engine mounts. They said in their picture to put it there on top of the crossbow. I took another look and thought, well, they probably should be there. I've done a rough setting up of the cab on there, and I've also done a rough set of the hood on there, and I've got a feeling I'll be peeling these on and putting them somewhere else. But if I put them up here where I thought they should go, then they're going to be too high and they don't line up. It's just AMT, they're shit. I really don't know. Battery boxes on, what a waste. I mean, I painted up all the battery and made it all look good, and then you put a cover on it and you don't even see it. So almost a bit of a shame there. So anyway, so we're definitely a bit further along and ready for the fifth wheel to go on. Still haven't put axles in, still haven't put the wheels on. Oh, I have also, can I get this out now? I've done it. I've assembled the cab. Oh, here we go. So the cab's painted, glasses in. I've left the side windows down. I've cut the side glass off the side windows there. Didn't want them. The paint job, I thought I masked it up properly, but there's just red everywhere. Inside the cab's done. Sort of okay with that. Pretty good. A lot of the detail, once it goes in, once it slides into the cab there like that, you can't really see much. So that's ready to go. I'm sort of getting down to the end of it now, but the sleeper box, oh my God. I did actually throw Dolly in the dirt yet again and toss this thing across the fucking room. I've made a complete nut of balls up of this. I've lost all the good quality white, so I painted the inside red, which is what you do. Paint the inside of it, and I'm putting it together. I've never had that much trouble trying to install a box before. So I'm trying to install this, and I get the sides on. So I've got this, I'm getting the sides on, and because I've already painted, every time I put glue on anything and go to attach it, and then that part fails. I think that goes like, there we go. So anytime I put glue on anything and the part fails, all of a sudden you've got red oozing absolutely everywhere. So I had my four sides all together. I had this together. I had the back on. Went to put the floor in, and it didn't fit. It didn't fit. I couldn't get the fucking floor in, and this drove me mad. And of course, I didn't wait till everything dried, but as I found out, it's probably better anyway. So I'm trying to fit the floor. Next minute, the whole thing starts collapsing. Sorry. So I'm trying to fit the floor in, and it didn't fit, and it didn't sit into the position properly, and there was big gaps everywhere, and I'm trying to get this floor in, and then the whole thing just collapsed, and before I knew it, there was just paint, there was glue, there was bits and shit everywhere. Complete and utter disaster. I've never had that much trouble trying to build a sleeper cab before. So then I thought I'd take it out the shed, and I tried to paint it, and I tried to paint it with white paint, and the rattle can paint it just looked so fucking bad, like really. The white paint I tried to put on this to make it look better, because there was just because of my fingers were touching the red paint. They had glue on them. It was a fucking disaster. I mean, you know, I should be, after all the models I've built, I should be a lot better than what I am at the moment. And this one's just turning out to be, something in me is definitely failing. But anyway, turned out to be a complete fucking disaster. I ended up with glue everywhere, ended up with fucking red everywhere. It was just complete and utter mess. And then I tried putting some white rattle can paint on it. I got so frustrated, I just poured the paint, and basically I just ruined the whole sleeper cab. So then I thought, well, I'm not one to give up. So as you can see, look, there's red, pink everywhere. That's just oozed over things. It's no longer a clear, nice white anymore. So I started soaking everything in methylated spirits and got the sandpaper out and tried to clean everything up best I can. So the sleeper cab is pretty much a disaster. I'm not sure whether I am going to use it. I'm not sure if I can join the pieces, you know, I can actually, I'll try and do this. I'm not sure I can actually join the pieces without bits of red oozing everywhere and in between all the seams and looking quite ugly, but I will try and put this together again properly later today, and then maybe try and throw a coat of white paint over it. This model is going to look shit. This nearly hit the bin a few times. I mean, the other option is I put the cab on, you know, like, the other option is I just put the cab on best I can. Oops, I put the cab on best I can and I don't put the sleeper on. Well, I don't want to do that. It comes with a sleeper, I want to put the sleeper on. So, I've also got another air tank to go on that just keeps falling off. This rattle can paint hasn't made life easy. I've made a complete and utter balls up of this job, and I hope when I go to do the Simon Elkin Big Western Star, I don't make a disaster of what I've made of this. I can't blame AMT completely. And of course, like I said, the chassis rails, they're not straight. They're crooked. You can really see exactly how out of line it is there. So everything is just completely skew. So like I said, as far as all the models I've built end up putting this one together in such a piss poor way, I'm not very happy with myself. So, but I will continue on with it because that's what I do. And hopefully at the end of the day, I will have a complete model that is actually complete and finished with all its decals. And I doubt it'll live on the shelf or in the bus. I'm pretty sure it's just going to end up in the back of the laundry shelf, out of the way, as a completion, but not a very good one. And also there was parts missing, yet again, AMT. So that's the other thing. At the very start of the motor, there was a part that went on the end of the turbo here for the exhaust. They tore the part, and then it wasn't here. It was not in this kit anywhere right from the word go. So I went through all my box of accessories and I found this bit here, because the exhaust sits into there, which then goes under there to your crossover pipes. Now, without that little bit I extended in there, these crossover pipes sit too far forward and they hit the fuel tanks and you can't get exhaust pipes in. Now the part I've put in might be a bit long, so with the crossovers that sit a bit further back, you can see they're coming up behind the back of the cab, so when I go to put my upright stacks on, they might be completely in the wrong spot as well. So trying to fix a problem with parts from another kit to solve a problem could end up with more of a problem. So the little part that goes on the end of the turbo there, that was actually not in the kit. And that was right from when I started this model. The first thing you do is you build your motor, and that part was not in there, and I didn't think too much of it. So I had to go out installing the exhaust pipe here into the turbo, but it sat too far in, which, like I said, made these crossovers sit too far forward, under here, which means the pipes couldn't have come up. So I found this part was a part of something else. I have no idea what it was, and now it's set the exhaust pipes back probably a little bit too far. I guess what I could do is I could pull this part again and just trim it down a few mil, and I won't know until the cab's on whether that crossover exhaust pipe there, whether these stacks are going to come up behind the cab or way behind the cab. So that's yet to be seen as well. So anyway, worlds, that's the start of part 3. And hopefully the next video will actually be a completion of the model. I've still got my steps to go on the tanks, and I'm not looking forward to gluing them on. They're going to be, you know, like dab of glue, put them on, and then wait 3 or 4 hours before I handle the model again, because being chrome on chrome, they're just going to be a pain in the butt. And if you sort of put things on and try and work around them, while the glue hasn't completely set, they just fucking fall off. So, righty, well, I'll get back to you a bit later when I'm a bit further down the track. Hopefully I've got this sleeper together. Hopefully I can put a nice light coat of clear white, sorry, a nice light coat of white over there, just to get rid of the seepage everywhere of the red. On the front of the box, there's supposed to be like a red roof cab, like the whole roof there is supposed to be red. And same with this. This is supposed to be red. Undecided. With the way my rattle can paint's going at the moment, I might just leave that white. I might just leave that a dirty white and just leave it as it is, and just try and at least get the build put together. And maybe the stickers can hide some of the imperfections that I've done. So, right, well, I'll catch you hopefully when I got this thing pretty much completed. Later, bye. Morning world, Hippy Trev here, and well, it's another few days later and I'm still working on this Kenworth model. Oh God, this has probably been one of the slowest and longest builds I've ever done as far as putting a basic truck model together. When I did the King Tiger, that one took me over a month, but that was a lot of parts. It was over 300-400 parts on that model, and all the tracks had to be done individually and so forth. So that was a month just by the amount of sheer parts. This one's just taking way too longer than it should, and I'm just having, this one's just taking way too long. It shouldn't have taken this long. I should have had this together already, but I haven't. But anyway, we're a little, as always, we're just that little bit further on. So I don't think anything much has changed since I got the fifth wheel table on, but I haven't put the fifth wheel on yet. A couple of air tanks have gone on, and basically, okay, so I'll get to that in a second, what I want to explain. So, got the bonnet pretty much together. These tiny indicators, oh my God, I fiddled around with a pair of tweezers to try and get these stupid little indicators on for so long. I couldn't even see what I was doing. They were just so, like, that can't be right. They're so small. I don't know if you can even see them. They are tiny. And a tiny little pin that had to go through the bottom there. That was so frustrating, but you know what? I don't fucking give up, I don't. And also, finally, the sleeper box. I got it together. That was a nightmare on its own, especially when the glue hit the paint, and as I glued things together, things started falling apart, and that was a complete nightmare. So I actually washed it in methylated spirits, sanded it with I think it was 120 grit sandpaper sand, tried to sand all the red paint off the outside that I could. And then I've just, yesterday, I just hit it with some clear white gloss just to try and get rid of the, because there was red oozing out of all the seams, all the way around. There was just red paint oozing everywhere. There was finger marks all over it. You wouldn't believe that little box there was enough. I nearly end up throwing the whole model away just because of the sleeper box. The cab's pretty much together. I've got my dome lights on top, air horns are on, the cab inside's in there. You can't really see much. It's a bit of a shame really, because I mean, you go to all the trouble, you know, I paint all the dash and all the speedos and do all the gators and I paint everything, and once it all goes together, you can't see it anyway. And like I said, I've left the windows down. They come with full glass on the windows, but I've decided to leave them down. Or actually, well, I just cut them off and no windows at all, and no window in the back because there's going to be a sleeper cab there. Now, remember back, I was saying about how, I've got to find it here, that part of the turbo was missing, where the exhaust fitted in, and I was saying the other day about how I don't know if this exhaust bracket's going to be okay because I found something from a different model. AMT not having a parts numbered trees is a pain in the ass. You wouldn't believe it. The part that I couldn't find to go on the turbo, that part there, I'd actually thought was an oil cover to go on the top of the motor, and it wasn't until I was down to like the last few items on the chrome tree that I found this tiny little oil cap. Is it even still there? Oh no, it's gone. Fuck. I couldn't find the part that went on the turbo here, so and of course, as I was saying, AMT not having a part number, you just got to look at the drawings. So what I did, I had a big oil cap filler there. I had what I thought was an oil cap filler. When I finally went through the trees, I found this tiny little bit of a chrome thing. Like, oh my god, that was actually the oil cap for the top of the motor. And what I thought was the oil cap for the top of the motor was actually the end of the turbo there where the exhaust went on. So that's gone on. The exhaust hopefully is all in position where it's supposed to be. So everything's going to line up where it's supposed to be. So yeah, that little piece there that goes on into the turbo, I thought belonged on the motor there. Now, there was a tiny little cap on there. That's gone missing. So I've just recently done a quick floor sweep this morning. So if it was on the floor, it's going to be out the door and gone. So, but anyway, we're getting down to the final stages of it now. Sorry, we're getting down to the final stages of it now. I'm not sure how much small stuff I've left to do on this model. So I'm sort of at the point now where it's pretty much time. I'm not sure if I'm going to put the wheels on now and then fit up the cab, or whether I'm going to put the cab and all that on before I fit up the wheels. There's a little bit of, it does get a little bit fiddly. You know, like the cab, that seems to be sitting pretty good. Then it's a matter of putting the bonnet on and making sure that all fits properly. And then, of course, at the end, we got the sleeper cab to go on. And then I'll put my exhaust stacks on, and then I go about putting all my stickers on. So I'm not sure whether to put my wheels on first or whether to put my cab and that on first. So and then all my decals have to go on. Now I'm not going to paint the roof red. So the model says red roof on the top. Well, after all the drama I had with the sleeper cab and my fingers and glue hitting the paint and going everywhere, there was no way I was going to paint the top of that roof red and then have a go at putting all my clearance lights and the horns on, because you can just imagine once the glue hit that paint, that would have been a complete and utter disaster. So we've let a complete all white cab. It should have been a red roof, but you know what? With all the dramas I've had with this rattle can paint, and like I said, the minute the glue touches that paint, it just smears everywhere and it gets all over my fingers, and you know what? It probably would have ended up in the bin. So we've just got an all white cab. I don't really care. I could have taped up this quite easily, just ran some masking tape around it and painted the roof red on that. But you know what? We're going to leave it all white because I've had enough of that rattle can red, and it's just been a complete and utter nightmare. So, but anyway, well, so I am sort of getting down to the last of it now. I think I will probably put. I can't decide whether to put the wheels on now or later, because I've still. It's very hard to actually pick this model up and do things now, because if you touch certain parts, like chrome on chrome, so like that tank's already fallen off a few times. These little air tanks here, every time I sort of handle the model, I just sort of knock it or touch it, they fall off too, and you've got to re-glue them all back on. So, and having the wheels on, like these front axles are very, very flimsy. They're not part of the cross frame. They're actually just little stubs that have been glued on. So if you've got the front wheels on and you're handling the model, it's pretty good. It's pretty certain I'm going to end up snapping them off and I'll have no front wheels. So I think the stage is now, let's get the bonnet on, make sure that works. I'm unsure, because of the AMT instructions, that these are actually in the right place. The cab mounts, I don't know if they go here or whether they go there. And I won't know until the bonnet's on and whether it does or doesn't close. So that's where we're up to. So I'm almost finished. Like I said, this has been a very long and slow build, but I'm getting there. So I was over in Gander 2 days ago, and I went to the gem shop there, which is actually their model shop. Hi guys, they got a whole new section of paints coming in, which I'm really looking forward to. So that'll hopefully, with the weather still being so nice from time to time, beautiful out here today. That could even be a bike ride over. Couldn't help myself. I bought this. It was a $45 model build. Now, this one's not a very complicated build. I'll just do a quick unboxing. This isn't a very complicated build. As in, first and foremost, I don't even have to. I don't even have to build the tracks. The tracks are already built. So it's going to at least be a decent size model. and there's not a real lot of parts to it, probably not a lot of painting to be done on this one. That's the tub, so it's going to be a good size model, but it's going to be a fairly straightforward model, and the reason I think I'm going to do this one next opposed to doing the Simon Elkin Western Star that he sent me. This is a big model, this is huge, and I want to get this right, and after all the troubles I've had putting this together, my fingers, something's not right with my fingers. I'm having trouble holding things. I'm having trouble putting parts together. That's another reason this model's taken so long. It's just, you know, as I said earlier, a good tradesman never blames his tools. Well, I'm kind of blaming my fingers. So what I've decided was, I'm going to do this one next, because this is a very simple model. I shouldn't have any trouble putting this one together, and you think after all the models and the trucks and shit that I've built that my skill level will be actually going up. Well, at the moment I feel like my skill level has actually gone down quite a lot, and this model has literally been like almost a nightmare to me, and I've nearly thrown it in the bin more than once. Definitely threw Dolly in the dirt a few times over this, and for my poor neighbour and tenant who hear me carrying on the bus, they must think, I don't know what they think when they hear what comes out of my mouth when I'm building this model, and they think, and if you think models are good for your stress levels, they're not. If anything, the stress just goes through the fucking roof, because trying to get a part on, or the glue doesn't stick, and it's just... Building models is not a stress-free hobby. That's all I'm about to say on that. So anyway, well, I'm going to get back into it today. It's beautiful outside. I should be on the bike, but I'm not. I just want to get this one finished and done, and then it can go straight into the laundry out the back. I don't think it's going to be worthy of sitting on the shelf here in the bus. So anyway, well, I'll get back to you hopefully when I've got this thing finally completed. So rightio, later, bye. Morning world, Hippy Trev here, and it's yet another couple of days down the track. So well, it's done. I finally got the Kenworth finished, and yeah, this is probably one of the longest and slowest builds, especially of a truck build at least. I mean, like I said, the King Tiger I built, that took me well over a month, but there was so many individual parts on that, and same with the D9 dozer I built before the track gear, and that was a lot of intricate little bits of parts. This was just a standard truck model. Oh my God, the dramas I had with this one. It turned out okay. Definitely not overly happy with it. So anyway, I'll just pop you out and give you a little walk around. Oh, rightio, there it is. She's finished. The Kenworth is done. Still very fragile. I finished up late yesterday afternoon, but I wasn't going to film it. And I'm just going to turn it around here. And there it is. That's it. That's it, finished. Now, a few things didn't quite work. So the decals. There was these big red decals here, and these big long red decals here. That's sort of one of the ones there, but they were much longer. Tried to put these decals on. As soon as I hit the water and it was about to come off the sheet, they literally disintegrated. All this just broke up. Same with the red ones along here. All these, they just, all this, like this red one here, they were much longer. As soon as they hit the water and were ready to slide off, they just broke into like, broke into heaps of little pieces. So, no decals, unfortunately, but never mind. So, yep, no decals, unfortunately, but never mind, that's just the way it goes. So, anyway, it took a long time to get this one done. The big gap in the bonnet, there's no way I could get that bonnet to close up. It's very hard to handle, this model, actually. Hang on, I'll put you back in the tripod. Rightio, so the Kenworth's finally done. I was so looking forward to doing this model. I've been eyeing this model off for like a couple of years, and anyway, I made quite a few mistakes on this one, and it all started with basically the frame rails being crooked. So, but anyway, it's done. I'm not overly happy with it. He won't be spending much time up here in the shelf in the bus. He's probably going to go straight out into the laundry, and that's pretty much where it belongs. So unfortunately, my model building skills seem to have gone down. Instead of going up, as you build things, they're supposed to get better. And it seems like my skill level's gone down a little bit. So, as I was saying earlier, I think I'm going to start this one next. I had this beautiful big Western Star that Simon Elkin sent me a couple of weeks ago. I really want to do a good job at that. I thought I was going to do a good job on the Kenworth. That was close to one of the most frustrating models I built, except for that shitty old Mac I did way back when. But this one, I really want to just want to do a really good job on this one. So I'm not prepared to start that one just yet. Like I said earlier, I think I'll get into this one. I know I've had the box off earlier, but not a lot of parts. Very simple and very basic model, and you know when the model's not much to it when they've already given you the tracks built ready to go. So I'm just going to use this one as just get myself back on track a little bit, because like I said, the Kenworth model, I'm going to show you again. It probably looks all right on camera, but if you have a good look at everything, you can just spot the mistakes everywhere. And I don't even think, oh, I can. No. I can't even open the bonnet on this one. So, all right, so I think the boat's about to start making some more content. I did a run over again a couple of days ago, and something's going on there with the boat. It's driving all right, running perfect oil, perfect temp. There's no rattles, anything in the motor. But if you're doing the speed and you hit the old go pedal, just this strange noise starts coming out from underneath the front of the bonnet. And she's also, instead of having a nice rumble out the back that it used to have, it's got this very strange and a very different bark coming out of the exhaust. So I don't know what the hell is going on with that car at the moment. I will be making a vid later on today. I'll roll her out of the shed, do a cold start, do the warm-up, and we'll go for a bit of a drive and see if we can pick up what that noise is. I've got no idea what that noise is, but it's definitely not right. It drives fine, you know, it doesn't, it drives fine. Just to drive along, you'd think there's nothing wrong with it, though there is. It does have this helicopter woof coming out the back of the exhaust. Maybe I might have to retune the carbies, I'm not sure. It's all happened since I come back from Mount Morgan. On that trip I did to Mount Morgan on the way home, just did notice a few things different. And over the last couple of days after being back home driving around town, I was sort of like, yeah, there's a funny sound coming out of the exhaust. I'm not used to that one. And then like I said yesterday, and then like I said, when I went to Gaina the other day, went to put the foot down to pass a car, and this just horrific noise started coming out the front of out of the motor. I don't know what the hell it is. I'm putting it down to maybe I overflowed the transmission too much. I think I've overflowed the auto by over a litre or more. I think there's way too much oil in the tranny. It's also been leaving big pools of oil on the shed floor. And I've got no drain plug on the transmission, so I can't even drain any of the oil out. So, but anyway, that's a vid for later on today or tomorrow. So there's definitely something going on with the boat. I'm unclear what is going on there, but something's definitely not right, and I'll take you guys for a drive in that later. So, but anyway, worlds, like I said, Kenworth's done. Very unhappy with my build on this one. I mean, you know, to look at it doesn't look too bad, but I know I made a shit job with this one. And before I start the big Simon Ellington Western Star, so before I start the nice big Western Star model, I'm just going to rip into that little old army tank there and see if I can put that together. Something's definitely not right with my fingers. They're just, anyway, I'm not sure what's going on. So anyway, worlds, Kenworth's done. So stay safe, keep your knees from the breeze, and I will catch you later. Bye.